Greetings, everyone. This is the Hipster Snek, and today I'm trying out Midnight Comfort, a visual novel I found on Itch while looking for horror games, and it didn't really sound like a horror game, so I'm not really sure what I'm getting myself into here. Let's dive in. 12 a.m. Technically, technically 12 is neither a.m. nor p.m. That's why we have midnight and noon. The night air was colder than usual, not where I live. Your room was dimly lit, not a sound but the ticking of the bedside alarm clock. That would drive me crazy. My clocks are all digital, actually. Glare of your computer screen, a blinding wall of white in front of you. Oh no, I use dark mode, nuts to that. You don't remember what time you started, or how long you've been sat down working on this project of yours. Oh, that's actually pretty true to life, actually. All the text on screen almost seems like a blur at this point. An eyesore. Speaking of which, what is your name? I am Snek. Right, my name is Snek. Nothing new. How could I forget something like that? Yeah, that's a fair question. I must be tired. Never mind, two different words. Never, space, mind, that. I have to be finished with this by now. You check the progress you've made so far today, barely halfway done from the requirements. Good chunk of it is still unchecked and proofread, as if most of it wasn't done in a blur. That sounds like me. Keeping distracted with other things. yeah, that's hashtag relatable right there. You groan quietly to yourself. It was taking more effort to keep your eyes open over continuing to finish this document. A wave of heavy, sluggish feeling almost overwhelming your senses. A wave of a heavy, sluggish feeling almost overwhelming your... I don't know, something about that sentence doesn't sit right with me. It feels like there's no subject. Oops. It was no use. It's no use! No amount of heavy caffeinated drinks could save your exhaustion now. Mostly just coffee for me. Maybe I can just cram the rest of this tomorrow. What will you do? Get some rest to keep work. No, I sleep really terribly. I need to get all the sleep I can get. Yeah, I should really get to bed before I pass out. I can barely keep my eyes open. You'd softly murmur to yourself, barely able to stifle back a yawn escaping your mouth. You'd softly murmur to yourself. Why is that being presented in the hypothetical? Your body is agreeing without much hesitation. It is the answer to your own statement. The grogginess, would distract you for a brief moment, only for you to shake your head and sigh. You decide to rest for the day. After fixing up your desk and monitor, you would find yourself in the comfort of your bed. My bed is amazing. The fatigue in your body was slowly starting to set in, a sense of relief greeting your senses. A moment of relaxing, almost blissful. I'm sorry, I swear, game dev, I'm not picking on you. I'm a pedant, and so anytime I see a typo, even my own, I have to make fun. That's just like a rule with me. You fail to realize just how tired you've been, a little ignorant, and on your part. It was taking a bit of a toll on your body. That is true facts. Maybe it wouldn't be too hard to doze off tonight. Insomnia is one heck of a bully. Yeah, I get that. I feel that. I have difficulty getting to sleep, I have difficulty staying asleep, and then I have difficulty getting up in the morning. It's all just kind of a crapshoot for me. You'd murmur to yourself, barely audible in between your slow breaths. There's no need for the apostrophe D. You could just say you murmur to yourself. There's no need to parse it that way. Listening quietly to the ambience of your dimly lit room, you'd close your eyes. Sometimes. I actually sleep under, 3 fans. And sometimes I have music playing, on loop, but really, really softly or something. There'd be a little bit of ambience in my room. I like thunderstorm noises. Those videos are pretty nice for me. Inhale, exhale. You try to focus more on your breathing, taking note of the light thumping of your chest. Heaving in a steady rhythm. The calmness of the atmosphere surrounds you. As you drift off to sleep... Oh. Whoa. You just wake into the abrupt rush of adrenaline in your body, hitting you almost instantly without warning as you would jolt a little in shock. I've had that happen. You'd groan out in displeasure as your eyes would adjust to the darkness of the room once more. Okay, I really gotta ask, why is everything being phrased in the hypothetical? This is supposed to be like a narration not a what-if scenario, so I'm really not sure why you're parsing things like that. What time is it? Your own little internal voice would speak up in your own head. No response figures. Your tired eyes would shift over to the bright red alarm clock beside you, squinting quietly to make out the pixels on the screen. 2 a.m. Barely any sleep. Geez, so early. What woke you up in the first place? Ow. Your body felt even more sluggish than before, a lingering soreness in your muscles. A stinging, dry feeling in your throat, all the way up to your tongue. God, my throat hurts. I need a glass of water. What? I can't. Move. No use. Your body's refusing to budge even an inch, almost as if the exhaustion of before had taken over, rendering you stuck, in a vulnerable state. Sleep paralysis? You try to move again, a last feeble attempt. Yeah, seems like it. I have never actually experienced sleep paralysis, I'll be honest. I actually sleep super, super shallow, so I'm either completely awake or like half asleep. I've never been in that stuck phase where I'm halfway. My head. I was moving it, giving you an awful migraine. The strain was adding more to the lingering panic you're starting to feel. Deep breaths, deep breaths. Maybe I should try and get more sleep again. A faint shudder would run down your skin, almost a chill of sorts, and catching you off guard. There seemed to be a presence in the room with you. A presence different to yours. Oh, I'm going to have my own sleep paralysis demon. This is going to be good. Sleep, come on, sleep. You quietly argue with yourself in desperation, the migraine in your head growing even further. I've had those days. If I don't sleep, I wake up with a nasty headache. Inhale, exhale. The panic had settled in nicely, and it was causing you to break into a cold sweat. Oh God, an intruder? What if it was a thief? Some sort of serial killer? The Easter Bunny? No, that's stupid. You were losing focus on your breathing, a lightheaded sensation rising up from your chest to your head. Dizzy. There's no use, I have to look. You had to convince yourself somehow that you are all right, that you were safe on your bed, that the presence was nothing more than some sleep-deprived hallucination or something. You had no choice. I'm safe in my bed because I have a gun. Someone breaks in, it's their unlucky day. Oh, it's a prompt. I was like, why is the clicking not working? Hi? Who? The earlier panic would only intensify as you gaze over to the female figure standing by your bed. That's a little bit of an understatement. I think I have inadvertently started playing a Z Technician game. Eyes widening a little in shock, as she'd quietly watch you on the bed, motionless. What was happening? Was this real? How would you know? Your body was still refusing to cooperate. The confusion was making you weary. Hey, don't try doing anything funny. You could only warn in your head, unable to even say it out loud. Oh gosh, what was the point? After what seemed to be a tense moment of silence, she would softly speak out. Hello, dear. Her voice would be soft, almost whispering. A disarming tone in between each soft breath she'd exhale, albeit inaudibly. Almost motherly in nature. Now that you mention it, she didn't even look scary. Yeah, scary is not the first word that would pop into my head here. The earlier cheery expression on her face would shift into a vaguely worried one while continuing to watch you with gentle eyes. I didn't mean to startle you, my apologies. You are understandably confused. Yeah, that's fair. Still frightened, yes, but it was mostly confusion at this point. Unable to respond, however, you could only just watch her in a cautious, unsure manner. She'd almost blend into the dark atmosphere somehow. Oh, right, where are my manners? My name is Madra? I'm assuming it's Madra. You must be Snek, yes? I am. I hope I was able to pronounce it correctly. There's not too many ways to butcher my name. You have a rather charming name. Aw, thank you. You do too. It's nice to meet you, Snek. I apologize if, I woke you up from your sleep. I'm not usually this clumsy with my visits. You visited me before? In fact, I haven't really visited anyone in a while. She would close her eyes for a moment, almost pondering with her own thoughts, humming quietly to herself in between her hands lightly fidgeting with one another. When was the last time I visited the surface realm? As opposed to what? The underground? Was it the time with Noir, or... No, I don't think it's that one either. Her eyes would open slowly once more in between a small shrug. Oh, it seems I've already forgotten. Sigh. She seemed a little troubled over it, her eyebrows furrowing a little, in meek frustration. Before she'd shake her head and look down at you once more, tilting her head a little to the side before speaking up. I'm rambling again, goodness. You poor thing, you'll be shivering cold at this point. Right, you didn't even notice the blanket, which was barely covering you. Yeah, where I live right now, it's way too hot, so the blanket doesn't really serve too much function for me. You couldn't really move yourself to adjust it to your liking. Here, let me help you with that, dear. She proceeded to lean a little closer to your side, one of her arms reaching over to carefully cover you with the blanket. A gentle shuffle or two as she'd fix and smoothen it out by the edges. There we go. I hope that feels much better. Whatever panic that you originally had was long gone, replaced with a light feeling of warmth from the blanket, and her presence as well, in a way. This is surprisingly nice. Thank you. You'd murmur to yourself internally, watching as she'd sit herself back down onto the side of the bed once more. She'd seem a little more cheery again after being able to help you out with the blankets. Kinda cute. Now you're all cozied up and ready for bed. It's still a little bit early, no? You can see all the rest they can get. Boy, that is true facts. Or so I'm told. I believe humans and shadow people aren't so different from one another. Just different living conditions and necessities and whatnot. She chuckled quietly in between a soft hum to herself, keeping her hands on top of her legs. I hope this isn't a problem either way. I very much enjoyed visiting the people from the surface realm. Especially you, sweetheart. What kind of relationship do we share? Me? Shadow Woman would seem to notice the shift of confusion on your own face for nodding and continuing to speak. Yes, you. Every day you work very hard and do your best to be able and make the most of the time you have. Let's not get carried away now. Most days I'm kind of a useless sack of potatoes. It's very endearing, Snek. She'd pause for a moment and furrow her eyebrow to think to herself, her eyes growing soft as Madra would watch you. Although you seem to be very hard on yourself as well. Yeah, okay, guilty as charged. You push yourself to the point of exhaustion and it's not healthy. You take breaks very rarely and it worries me so. Then some days that's true and some days it isn't. I hope to at least remind you to pace yourself in a way which doesn't make you overwork. I'm in no way in a position to tell you what to do. I'm really just a stranger at the end of the day. It's mostly likely a maternal instinct of sorts for me to say such things. But... Hi? She'd pause for slowly lowering herself into a lying position next to you, still keeping a safe distance. Okay, so she's respecting my boundaries, but, My goodness, she is full-figured. Her bright white eyes looking over at yours with a hint of hopefulness, kindness even. Like, was this inspired by, Beware the Shadowcatcher? I'm just saying. Just saying. An almost cozy kind of aura coming from her direction. I want you to at least know that someone cares for you, Snek. Oh, that's really nice. Even if it doesn't feel that way. The world can be a little harsh and mean, especially someone who's still trying to figure out things. That's true. In fact, in one of my favorite of the original Mirage Ninja Turtles comics was Donatello's first standalone issue, where he met the artist Kirby, and Kirby got trapped in this weird parallel dimension, and he sent a letter to Donatello saying, at best, life is bittersweet. And that always stuck with me, ever since I was a kid when I first read those comics. Things they want to do to accomplish, to be able to reach success in life. It's no easy task, I know, but you must also know your own limits to these things and learn to just enjoy life for how it is now. That's true. She raises a very good point, actually. I do hope, even with or without my reminder, that it won't stop you from being nicer to yourself. Interest of fairness, she raises a fair point. I could stand to stop being my own worst critic. And that goes for you guys, too, at home. You guys need to stop being your own worst enemy, too. Just be able to have this sense of patience and understanding, just enough to give you a safe space of sorts. Because, well, at the end, you will know what's best for you and what makes you happy. You'll reflect on things you've done, even the light-hearted achievements, and you'll be thankful for being able to do so. Madra's gaze would seem to soften a little in between words, watching as an almost calm expression would wash over your face. Her words were a lot to take in, but they held a good amount of value, no doubt, personal, almost. It's a little odd that it does kind of feel like she's speaking directly to me, and not in the sense that I'm supposed to be the point of view character, but in the sense that some of what she's saying is actually true of me in real life. The larger female would watch you for a few more moments in between slow breaths. Is that what we're calling her now? Okay. For letting out a warm chuckle, tilting her head a little and beaming over to your direction. Is that a silly thing for me to ask? My bad. The same cheery expression would be on her face while she'd shift a little on top of the bed. It was almost contagious, really, in a nice, welcoming way. Anyway, you should try and get more sleep again, alright? I'll be here until you're able to. Just to keep you company until you feel tired again. Right, sleep. You failed to realize how drowsy your consciousness had become. Dragging your eyes closed, the same relaxed feeling from earlier would wash over you. Taking a brief last gaze to her warm, soft eyes before dozing off. Rest well, love. Are you saying love in a familial sense, or are we like a romantic item? Like, what is going on here? That. You would awaken to the rude blaring of your alarm clock. A groan escaping past your mouth as you clumsily reach over and try to turn the damn thing off. Fidgeting with the upper buttons before finally being able to shift it to snooze. Good morning. You'd grumble to yourself, slowly sitting up from the bed and stretching your arms out. Lightly scratching your head and looking to the set alarm clock with a frown. 7:45 a.m., a little early, but it wasn't so bad. That's sleeping in for me. Funny, I don't feel so tired, feeling a little well-rested compared to the usual, considering I wasn't even able to move an inch, and before you'd murmur anything else, you look around the room in a faint panic. Did that really happen last night, or was it all some complex and complicated dream? Where had Madra gone? My papers. You have many questions, but lacking any answers, but in a way maybe that was for the best. Maybe you better just stick with questions for now, and linger in the midnight comfort. Hi, hello. It's me, Beige. If you reached this far into this little project, I just wanted to say my utmost thanks. I made a simple visual novelist practice thing for coding, as well as a special surprise reaching 10,000k at Twitter. Woo, wowie, LFGGG/pose. Okay. But really, thank you so much. The support is overwhelming and awesome, and I'm super duper thankful. I never would have really thought I'd reach such a big milestone. I'm sure Madra greatly appreciates it too. And hey, if you aren't from my Twitter, I want to say thanks to you too. I am not. I actually found this on itch completely by accident. But I'll ping you when this video goes live. I'll shoot you a shout out on the tweet when that goes live. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you around. Background and SFX assets belong to their proper owners. I only own the sprites and dialogue. Bye-bye. I have like a billion questions. So Madra is not a sleep paralysis demon. She's a completely different species. She said she's a shadow person. I can't help it. I mean, first off, because I'm, the #1 Zed technician fanboy par excellence. So I kind of I'm seeing this plus-size shadow woman, and so I'm like, is this a reference to Beware the Shadow Catcher? That's my favorite Zed technician game. And Madra has this really affectionate way of speaking to the player, and I'm like, is she posing herself as a maternal figure, or is she posing herself as a romantic figure? Because honestly, I think her dialogue could be interpreted either way, and I'm fascinated, just why this is the oddest motivation for a home invasion I've ever seen, where she breaks in and just comes to my side and is just like, everything is going to be okay and you should stop being so hard on yourself. And I'm like, okay, fair, but who are you? Where did you come from? And how did you get here? And why do you know about me specifically? And I know there wouldn't be a game if she didn't. But I'm fascinated. There's so many connotations about this. So there's this entire shadow underground, underworld. I don't even know. She didn't give me enough context clues. I really want to see a follow-up to this. I have so many millions of questions. Oh, you know what? There was one prompt. There was let me check about real quick. No. Okay, nothing. Okay, so I want to start. I'm going to use the fast forward command. There was one decision I had to make right here. So I'm going to see what happens if I keep working. I can do a little more work if I just get myself preoccupied. You quietly argue with yourself, being greeted by a mild growing headache. This wasn't very efficient, but you really had to get this document done by tonight. You try your best to pay attention to the words on your monitor screen. Monitor screen? Oh, okay. It didn't take more than 5 minutes. You just start dozing off by the monitor. Soft clacking of the keys in your fingertips as you'd exhale a soft yawn and droop a little in your chair. So tired. It's objectively a bad idea, but the thought of not being able to be finished on time was a looming cloud, a mocking fear of sorts. For anything else, you find yourself closing your heavy eyes. So it is different. You're waiting for the rush of adrenaline, hitting almost instantly without warning, a jolt of shock. What time is it? No response. How did you get into bed in the first place? I don't remember. My head, tired eyes, 2 a.m., barely any sleep. So, okay, so the two just kind of reunite. Glass of water, I can't move. Okay, I just want to see if this... I want to see if Madra's initial dialogue is any different. The Easter Bunny. Could be Santa Claus, you don't know. Okay, so yeah, that's a prompt. Cool. Okay, so okay, so the rest of it, the scripts unify after that point. Okay, so I have so many questions, and I find this idea super, super compelling. That there's like this shadow counterpart world, and the shadow people have a civilization similar to ours but different. Um, I've got to know more. I'm just like, I'm super on board with this, and I want to know so much. This is really fun. It's not. It's really like a short story in kind of game form. But honestly, I think what you have here is the setup for something really cool. And please let me know, is this actually inspired by Zed Technician, or is that just like a huge coincidence? Because I'd be really curious to know. Okay, so we're just going to kind of have a short episode today. So this was Midnight Comfort. The link to the download is going to be in the description as always. And yeah, you guys leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys thought. Was this as interesting to you as it was to me, or do you guys think I'm just a pervert? I mean, who knows? I'd love to hear your feedback. Anyway, this has been the Hipster Snek, and I'll see you guys next time.